students. The experiment is time response characteristics of a second order system. To perform this experiment, we need two components mainly. So what are those? First one is kit of your time response second order system. So this is the kit. Okay. So here, which is nothing but the RLC circuit. Simply it is a RLC circuit, right? And we have to apply the square wave input, and we need to observe the output from here. Okay. These two things we need to observe the output, and next we need to tune the frequency and amplitude, right? So which is nothing but simply is a RLC circuit. Okay. As well as to perform this experiment, we need along with the kit one digital CRO which displays the output. So with respect to this output, we have to find the time response, different characteristics of your time response. Okay. Then we need to tally with your theoretical calculations. So let us see how we are going to find the time response theoretically. So for that purpose, to perform this experiment, the kit, right, the transform time response of your second order system kit appears in the panel. These are the details, right? So power. So we need to switch on or switch off the supply. Next AC output, square wave output with respect to ground, right? Next frequency, the range from 100 to 500 Hz. Amplitude we can carry up to 10 volts. These are the values of your R1, R2, R3, 1 kilo ohm, 6.32 kilo ohm, 10 kilo ohm, and inductance value 100 millihenries, 0.01 microfarad, and variable capacitor is 560 picofarad. These are the details of your kit. Okay. So next, time response, right? So how to find the time response? So generally, we may have the two types, right? Positive feedback system and negative feedback system. So generally, we will prefer negative feedback system. So this is the diagram of your negative feedback system. So what is the time response? Output by input. Okay. So gain is nothing but output by input. So here input is R of S, output is C of S. This is our transfer function. Okay. So we need to obtain the C of T. Okay. Transfer function is nothing but the ratio between the output by input, C of S by R of S, right? So here the closed loop transfer function we may write G by 1 plus GH, negative feedback, right? So from that, just shift your R of S to here and apply R of S as a, assume as a step input or some square or parabolic, like that you can assume. Then you apply inverse Laplace, then you will get the time response of a particular system, second order system. So that we need to find theoretically as well as with the help of your digital CRO, and those two should be compared, right? So let us see how to find the time response characteristics. So I am assuming that if suppose input signal is a step signal. So for the step signal, I am going to determine the time response. But we know that in the second order system, so this is the standard transfer function equation, right? C of S, R of S, omega n square by S square plus 2g omega ns plus omega n square. So this is the in the denominator, whatever the equation we are having, which indicates as a characteristic equation. If you simplify that or if you solve that, then you may get the roots for your zeta. So when the zeta is 0, right? So the system is said to be undamped system. If zeta lies in between 0 to 1, underdamped. If zeta is equal to 1, critically damped. If zeta is more than 1, overdamped. Means even though if you apply a step signal in the second order system, depending upon the values of the zeta, the systems are classified into 4 types: undamped, underdamped, critical damped, and overdamped. So this we need to verify for each case: case 1, case 2, case 3, case 4. Right? So we can do it. This experiment for all the 4 cases. Okay. So depending upon if you solve that, so for each and every classification, for the case 1, the nature of the roots will be different. For the case 2, nature of the roots will be different. For the case 3, case 4 also, nature of the roots will be different. That once if you solve the characteristic equation, then you may get the nature of the roots. Okay, that already was studied in our system subject. Now, actually, what we need to do? So here I am assuming your step input as a step. Then if you apply Laplace, what will get 1 plus. So if you substitute that, it asks for the step response output of your second order system. When the input is a step, then the equation may be C of T. So this is the equation you will get. This is all you have studied in your control system. Actually, what we need to do here means, so for the different values of the zeta, we need to observe the time domain specifications. For the different values of the zeta, we need to assume the time domain specifications. So see here. So for the different values of the zeta, we have to determine the time domain specifications. So this is the waveform. Practically the CRO will display. So already you know what is delay time, rise time, peak time, maximum peak overshoot. So according to these definitions, we have to find the everything. So TD 1 plus 0.7 zeta to omega n. So by using these formulas, we have to find the delay time, rise time, and peak time. So actually, what we need to do in this experiment? So see here the experiment is nothing but it is a simply RLC series circuit. We are applying input as a step and output we are observing with the help of your CRO, right? So here we will consider this RLC. Boxes means variable resistor, variable inductor, variable capacitor. So for this circuit, if you write a KVL equation and apply the Laplace, if you simplify that, okay, if you write the differential equation for your series RLC circuit and if you simplify with an auxiliary equation, okay, then as you may get the value of the R is 2 zeta by square root of C by L. So here what we are doing means zeta we are assuming. Suppose you want to check the performance of the second order system for the underdamped. Okay, so underdamped means the zeta value should be lies between 0 to 1. So you may assume zeta is 0.5 and C and L are fixed. Already I have displayed on the panel of your kit, right? So already I have shown that. So C and L will be fixed. Then substitute here, you may get the R value. Now with the help of your detailed resistance box in the RLC series circuit, you set R value to whatever the value you got, right? So set it the R value to the reference value, which is coming from this equation. R is equals to zeta by square root of C by L. When the R is calculated value, inductor and capacitors are the fixed value. When you are applying step input, the compulsory whatever output you are getting from the second order system should be a underdamped system. That we need to observe on CRO. Next, what you need to do? Again, you change the zeta value. Right? If the zeta is equals to 1, then what happens? So the system is said to be trickly damped system. Then you may get some R value. Fix your RLC circuit to that R value. Remaining all are same. Right? So in this way, by changing the zeta, you need to find the R value and we have to observe the output with the help of your digital CRO for each and every cases. We are having 4 cases: undamped, underdamped, trickle damped, and overdamped. So for the each case, we need to observe the output from CRO like this. Okay. As well as in each case, what we need to do? You may adjust the R value by calculating the R with the help of this formula, right? But suppose you are performing experiment for the trickly damped system, zeta is equals to 1. At that time, you may get R value some fixed value. Then you adjust R to that value. Then what happens? You change the inductance value. For the trickly damped system only, you change the inductance value. Then you observe what is the change in the characteristics, whether it is going to be achieving steady state earlier or somewhat late. That you need to observe. And up to what extent the system will become as a critical stable system, means critically damped system. If the inductance value exceeds over the range, over the limit, then what happens? The system may not be critical damped system. It may vary, it may goes to over damped or else under damped. That also you can observe. Okay, so that is the importance of this time response second order system. Now you got the clarity what you need to do. Right? So already you have fixed like this here. Zeta you need to assume for underdamped between 0 to 1 and C and L are fixed and you have to find the R value. And you set in the RLC series circuit after that and you observe the output. So this has to be made for each and every case. Once you got, you know the value, delta and everything, then you find the delay time, rise time, peak time using these formulas, as well as peak overshoot and settling time for the 2% tolerance and 5% tolerance. Okay. So these are the theoretical values we got. And with the help of CRO you will observe now. So these are the practical values you will get. So already I have shown, right? So like this you will get the output. So by using your CRO, we need to find what is the delay time and what is the rise time and what is the peak time and peak overshoot, right? And the settling time. So that you need to find practically from the CRO. So after getting those values, you need to compare practical values with the theoretical values. Okay, and both should be matched. So in this way, we are performing the time response of the second order system. In order to find or in order to get the characteristics of the time response of second order system, we have to follow this procedure. I hope you understand. The output should be displayed. Okay.
Hello students, today we are going to perform time response of second order system. So the second order system here we use is series RLC. Okay, we are going to give a square input to our series RLC and we are going to obtain the output across this capacitor. Okay, so we are going to perform for zeta less than 1, that is under damping, zeta equal to 1, that is critical damping, and zeta greater than 1, that is over damping. Okay, so first for under damping I am going to connect this resistor. For under damping resistor, it is mentioned UD here, that means it is for under damping. Okay, for under damping you have to connect this resistor across these two terminals. Okay, for critical damping you have to connect this to yellow and this will be same, and for over damping you have to connect to blue color. Okay, so for first of all we are going to perform experiment for under damped second order system. Okay, for under damped second order system you already know that the zeta value is less than 1. So in this experiment the manual consists of zeta value equal to 0.158 and the capacitance has 0.01 microfarads. Okay, and inductance has 100 millihenry. So using this data you can find out our second order time response characteristics like delay time, rise time, peak time, settling time, and your maximum overshoot. Okay, so you will get some theoretical values based on this RLC and zeta values, and we are going to see the values, we are going to compare them with a waveform of this underdamped second order system in a oscilloscope. Here this is a digital storage oscilloscope. We are going to see how our theoretical value and practical values are matching. Okay, so let us try to perform first underdamped system. So for underdamped system, I have applied a square input to our series RLC. This is square input. Okay, that is given to RLC series. Here R, L, C are connected in series. Okay, this is input to R, and here this is second terminal of resistor that is connected to first terminal of inductor, and second terminal of inductor is connected to capacitor's first terminal, and second terminal of capacitor is connected to ground. Okay, so we are going to give the input to resistance, and we are going to take the output across capacitor. Okay, now you can see as we have connected the resistor across underdamped operation, so you can see the waveform of second order system. You can see it is a underdamped waveform. Now we are going to see the values of delay time, rise time, peak time and settling time. Okay. Okay, now we are going to check the time response characteristics like delay time, rise time, peak time, maximum peak and settling time. Here this is output of our second order system. You can see it is a peaky wave. Here you can see the yellow color line is a square wave input to our second order system, and here the violet color waveform is output across our capacitor, that is a response for underdamped system. Okay, so now we are going to measure our time response characteristics. First I am going to measure delay time. Delay time is the time period for response to reach 50% for first time. Okay, here you can see this cursor will indicate the time here, and here you can see I have taken the cursor A here. This time period will indicate your delay time here. Okay, delay time is 50% of your response. Now I am going to measure delay time using this cursor here. Okay, this cursor is cursor A here. This cursor will measure the time period from 0 to our set value. Okay, I am going to decrease it to reach 50% of our response. Okay. Okay, here this is the 50% of response. This is 100%. Okay, this is 100% steady state. This is 50% accordingly. Okay, the time period is for response to reach 50% is 35 microseconds. Okay, for our response to reach 50 seconds, 50% of full output from 0, the time taken is 35 microseconds. Similarly, I am going to measure rise time. Rise time is from time 0 to and 100% of the response. The 100% of the response is steady state value. Here this is the 100% of response. Okay, so I am going to measure the time period between 0 and 100% of response. Here our cursor A is indicating the response, that is here you can see the difference between cursor A and cursor B is delta t, that is given as 52 microseconds. Okay, so you will get theoretical value as 55 microseconds, the practical value is 52 microseconds. Okay, now I am going to see the peak time period to reach the peak value, that I am going to change the cursor A here. Okay, you can see I am going to place the cursor at the peak value of the output waveform. Okay, so this is the peak waveform. Here the time period for our cursor A is 91 microseconds, but you will get theoretical value as 98 microseconds. Okay, now I am going to see the peak overshoot value, that is MP, that is difference between peak magnitude and our steady state value. Okay, so that is our peak magnitude is 142 here and our steady state is 100%. So the resultant will give us around 42% of peak value. Okay, then settling time is time period to settle the waveform almost steady state. Okay, further, so we can take it as whenever our output waveform is coincide with input waveform, I can say it is a steady state position. Okay, this at this point you can see our yellow line and violet line are coincide and they are same all over the time period. Okay, that means I can say from here the waveform has obtained steady state. Okay, so the time period from 0 to this point will be my settling time, that is here 370 microseconds. Okay, now we have calculated delay time, rise time, peak overshoot and settling time for underdamped. Similarly, we are going to do it for critically damped. Now we are going to change the resistance value to operate it as critically damped. For that I am going to change the resistance from underdamped to critical damped. Okay, so you can see here the resistance has been changed from R1 to R2, that means R2 is for critically damped value. The value is 6.32 kilo ohms. Then I am going to give the supply to the circuit, that is a square wave input. Now let us try to understand the output of our second order system with under critical damped oscillation. Okay, now you can see this is output waveform of our second order system for critical damped oscillation when zeta equal to 1. Okay, now we are going to measure the delay time here. So the delay time is nothing but whenever our output waveform reaches 50% of its magnitude. Okay, that will be around this point. Okay, so it is here you can see the delta t is changed between cursor A and cursor B. Okay, that is around 55 microseconds here. The theoretical value we have obtained is 54 microseconds. Okay. Now let us try to find the rise time, the time to reach 100% from 0. Okay. Here this is, so this is time to reach 100% of response. Okay. The value is around 165 microseconds, but the theoretical value is 116 microseconds. Let us try to find the settling time. Okay, I am going to match it with the input waveform. Okay, this is input waveform. So settling time will be when our output and input coincides. Okay. So this is the point where our input and output are coincide. So our settling time is 177 microseconds. It is exactly same as your theoretical value. Okay, similarly we are going to do it for overdamped when zeta equal to 1.58, that is greater than 1. So in order to operate it for overdamped, I am going to change the resistance from R2 to R3. The value is 10 kilo ohm. Now you can see the change in output waveform for square input. Okay. So similarly we are going to measure delay time, rise time and settling time for overdamped condition. So as it is overdamped, the settling time will be very high. Okay. Now I am going to measure the delay time, that is whenever our output reaches 50% of input output waveform, that is exactly at this point the waveform is 50% of maximum output, that is around 74 microseconds. It is exactly same as your theoretical value. Then rise time is between 0 to 100%. So our cursor B is at 0 position, cursor A I am moving to 100%. So this is the point where you have reached 100% of output. This is where you have reached 100% of output. So this is 100%. Okay. So the time here is 335 microseconds. So let us calculate the settling time. That will be just like this. So this is our settling time 337 whenever our output and input waveforms coincide. Okay, it is exactly same as our theoretical wave. Okay, 337 microseconds. So with this we have concluded that almost our practical and theoretical values of second order system are equal. Okay, thank you.